What's up, Geeksters? It's me, Omar from GeeksterLabs.com, and today I have my full review of Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, just to let you guys know, this is a spoiler-free review. I'm not going to give any plot points, any details about this movie at all. I will be shooting a spoiler-filled review after this one, which will be much more detailed. I'll talk specifically about points in the movie, but for this review right here, I'm not going to give anything away. So rest assured, I'm just going to tell you how my overall opinion of the movie was, okay? First off, I just want to let you guys know I am a huge Star Wars fan, okay? A big fan. As you can see on my shelf right here, most of these figures are Star Wars figures. So I'm a big fan of the franchise. I've been watching it for most of my life. Big fan of the video games, all the whole lore, everything about Star Wars. I've been really anticipating this movie, and this movie did a really good job. I really enjoyed watching this movie. This one was directed by J.J. Abrams. This stars Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Adam Driver, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Oscar Isaac. So first off, I just want to let you guys know, for those of you that I have heard some things of people being worried that there's too many trailers and too many TV spots that have been released and they kind of feel like they've been putting a little too much out there. And I understand what you guys are saying, but trust me, you haven't seen most of the movie. If you've seen every single TV spot and every single trailer, which I have, you've probably only seen like a fifth of the movie, okay? There's still plenty of things going on in this movie that haven't been explored. Most of the stuff you've seen in the trailers is like the first 20 to 30 minutes of the movie. There's still plenty of other things going on in this movie that you haven't seen in the trailer, and it doesn't give away all the stuff as well. So they've done a really good job of keeping everything under wraps, and I really think that, like I said, if you've seen all the trailers and seen all the TV spots, you're still going to be plenty surprised with a lot of things that are going on in this movie. The other thing I've been hearing too is that people are kind of worried that if you're not familiar with Star Wars, if you're not a big fan of Star Wars, if you haven't seen any of the movies, you're going to feel kind of lost in this movie. And I definitely can tell you guys that that's not the case at all. Something really smart that J.J. Abrams did when he wrote this wrote the script for this movie along with Kasdan, who's the one that wrote Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. I believe he wrote both of those original movies. When they were writing the script, the movie is from the point of view of Rey and Finn, okay? And Rey and Finn are people that have heard of these things, the Force and Star Wars and Jedi and something like that. They're familiar with it, but they don't know a whole lot about it. And as you're going through the story, they're learning new things. So if you are someone that is in that same position, you are not familiar with Star Wars and familiar with the lore of Star Wars, it's going to be kind of the same situation for you. You're going to be learning things along with them. So the way they did that, they did a really good job. Speaking of Daisy Ridley and John Boyega, their chemistry in this movie was very good. I was really surprised to learn that Daisy Ridley has never been in an actual movie before. This is her first movie. I believe she did only commercials and small TV spots and things like that. So this is her first movie. John Boyega, if you guys are familiar, he's from Attack the Block. Really great character, really funny, had some really great lines. But like I said, the chemistry between them, their characters, and the way they played out, they did a really great job. It was really cool seeing also Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher reprising their roles. And so, like I said, if you are not familiar with Star Wars and this is your first experience watching Star Wars, you're going to be fine. You're going to have a great time watching this movie. Lots of great adventure, great sci-fi aspects and things like that. There are some things you're probably not going to catch. There's certain things that people say that you'd be like, oh, I know what they're talking about. Like, oh, I get it. That's kind of funny. If you're familiar with those things. But if you're not, it's okay. You're not going to be missing out on anything. So overall, I think J.J. Abrams did a great job in directing this movie. They did a really cool thing with the mixing with the practical effects and actually having actual structures and things, and then using green screen. It's pretty obvious when there's green screen because they're in areas that you know are actual sets. But when they're in areas where there are sets, they've done a really good job of kind of mixing and blending the two together. I did not see this in 3D IMAX. I saw it on the regular screens. I am going to be seeing it in 3D IMAX on Wednesday. I'm actually going to be watching it again 2 days from now on Saturday. So I'll be seeing it. My third time seeing it will be on 3D and IMAX. And I definitely think it'll do. I'm not really a big fan of 3D at all. I don't like paying for 3D unless I think it's absolutely going to be a great experience. And watching this movie now regular, I think that there are definitely going to be some really cool shots and cool scenes that would be really fun to watch in 3D, especially the TIE fighters and X-Wing, dog fights and such like that when they're battling. Those scenes are really great and really well done. Some of the point of view that they use on those shots, I think that would be really cool and it would lend itself really well to 3D. But of course, not every movie is perfect, and as big of a Star Wars fan as I am, I have to be honest and say that there are a couple things I think they could have done a little bit differently. Like I said, I'm not going to go into a lot of details about this. I will do that in my spoiler review. But one of the things I did notice while watching this movie and while watching the trailers, I was kind of thinking, this kind of seems a little too similar to A New Hope, Episode 4, the first Star Wars movie. You have Rey in this desert planet, probably wanting to do something bigger with her life, just like Luke Skywalker being on Tatooine, a desert planet, kind of wanting to be doing more things with his life. So there were some elements that parallel a little bit of that first movie, but the main plot points are not dissimilar at all. There are similar parallels, and there are some characters where you're kind of thinking like, oh, this person's kind of like this person's kind of similar to this person, but overall, the story and the overall arching story is still diverse enough and a little bit different to where I don't think it's super big deal, but it was some of the things that while watching, I was thinking like, are they really going to do it like this? This kind of feels a little similar to the first movie, so it wasn't a big deal. I still enjoyed it a great deal. I'm still going to watch it probably 5 times at the movie theater. But that's probably the one thing I was kind of hoping to see something a little bit different. So they did change it up. They did freshen up a little bit. They have some of the old cast there. We have some newer players in the movie. And so those things kind of freshen up a little bit. But there were some things about it I wish they could have done a little bit differently and tweaked it a little bit more. So I'll go in more in details about that stuff in my spoiler review. So after you watch the movie, check out that video and tell me if you agree with me or not when I bring those specific details and points out. But overall, guys, really great movie, really great action, really great storytelling. It was paced very well. I didn't feel like it was boring or slow at all throughout the whole movie. I think it was 2.5 hours long or so, and it actually went really quick. I mean, after watching the movie, I sat down trying to think like what happened in the movie because it went by really fast, and not necessarily in a bad way. It was just like I was just still so shocked at what I had seen that it was just kind of to remember all the different things that took place. But so for those of you that are big Star Wars fan, I think you're going to enjoy this movie. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Star Wars and haven't watched and ever watched a Star Wars movie in your life, you're still going to enjoy this movie. It has great action, great dialogue. It's a fun movie to watch, and I think you guys will still enjoy it. So that's my those are my comments and my thoughts on Star Wars: The Force Awakens. If I had to give this movie a rating, I would probably give it about 95% rating is what I would give this movie. So definitely really high up there. I look forward to seeing it 2 more times. I already have 2 more tickets to watch it again. I'm watching in 2 more days. I'm also going to be watching in 3D IMAX on Wednesday, which is a couple days from now. So really looking forward to checking those out again and seeing it again and catching things I may have missed. And like I said, I'll be putting my spoiler review up very soon. And if you guys have already seen the movie, make sure you check it out. Let me know what you guys think so we can have a little dialogue there. So that's it for me today, guys. If you have any questions about the movie or you have any comments, if you've seen it yourself, post your comments down below in the comment section. I read each and every comment in all of my videos, and I always get back to you guys as quick as possible. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure to share it with your friends. And if you want to stay up to date with all of my movie and tech reviews, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video review.